Today, we are building the best squad possible. Welcome back to another episode of Pick 10, and I am joined by one of the best FC players in the world. Representing Team Hullet, we have Levy. Are you ready?
I am, Mike. I hope I can beat you, if I can say that, because I think it's gonna be a tough challenge. There's like a little twist, which you can tell.
I'm glad that you put that into motion. These are the rules. Max 2 icons, max 2 players from the same nation. We're gonna be alternating picks. We cannot repeat players. And as Levy said, we're trying to figure out who can draft the best team. I'm gonna let you get started, but before we get into the selection with the starting 11, I figure we should mention goalkeepers just for the people at home. Who have you been using if we hypothetically were choosing goalkeepers?
It's kind of tough one. I've always been like a Van de Sar guy. His last card has been the FUT birthday one, and I think it's quite outdated. So nowadays I would either go with Schmeichel. You also have the Futties Courtois, which in my opinion is the best nowadays.
Van der Sar has been trusted, and I share in the same sentiment. I've been leaning a lot on Schmeichel recently. If you have that new Casillas, also a wonderful item. And if you're going no icon, I've always had a thing for Donnarumma. I don't know if that's something you relate to.
I think it's also just really personal preference with a goalkeeper. Sometimes you trust a goalkeeper, sometimes you don't.
I'd also agree with the preference side of goalkeepers in particular. So let's get into the actual choices. We're going to start with the back line. We're going to start with the defense. Let's go with the right back. You get first selection. You're the guest on the channel. And remember, we can only have 2 icons and we can only have 2 players from the same nation. It's more challenging than I thought. I looked through this a little bit.
It is pretty challenging, especially the positions like the right back where I can start. I think there are not many good options. In Pro versus Pro, almost everybody's playing Goslu there, but he's a striker, so we can't choose him. So my pick, you probably expected, is going to be Kyle Walker.
Yep. He would have been my first choice on the docket. And it does leave me in an odd position. There's a couple icons that I like for the right back selection, but I don't want to waste it in a fullback slot. That's just the reality. So I'm actually going to go with someone who's undersized, fantastic offensively. I wish that he had the weak foot or the skills, but I'm going to go with Carvajal. We're going to go high rated, 98 overall, a lot to work with. But again, Kyle Walker's probably your surefire choice. If I was trying to dabble, I still feel that Cafu gives me something. I really do. Maybe there's a certain level of consistency I've had this year with them.
I agree. I think Cafu or Walker are like the best, but as you said, you don't want to spend your icon on this position probably.
Okay, left back, where are you taking us? This one has a little more range in terms of selection. The right back's a little more straight lined or straightforward in my opinion.
Then this one is big also because of his nationality. We can only use 2 per country, so I picked Davies because I won't pick anyone else from Canada anymore. I think he's the best left back, and the nationality gives me more options to the rest of the picks.
I'm okay with that, and I thought about choosing even Havertz in this selection because you had the 94 and it would knock out the higher rated Havertz that has been released, of course, now. But I think I'm going to go with Rolfo. I've really enjoyed using her. You could put her out wide. You could put her as a midfielder. Just so many stats. She's part of that Barcelona women's side that's just unbelievable. Across the board, all of them have kind of came out and gotten upgrades from the beginning of the game to present day, and they've been phenomenal. But I'm going to take Rolfo off the board. She is worth the coins. Put her into motion. And I think it's a pretty decent matchup there with Davies as well.
Definitely. She can play anywhere on the pitch as well. So if you start her left back, you can put her into center, mid, right back, whatever you want. Playstyles are good. I think it's a solid card, definitely.
Yeah, a little more versatility, if you will.
Can do everything. That's true. That's true.
All right, center backs, we have 2 choices. Oh, and we should preface, we are building out of a 4-4-2 formation. Told Levy that we had to have the 4 back line, a couple center mids, a couple wingers, a couple strikers, and it'll be the same for me. So we have a bit more of a 1-to-1. But who's your first choice? I have a feeling I know where this is going to go.
The Dutchman, Big Virgil, 99 card, insane. Playstyles are there apart from he doesn't have aerial, but I think he's the only defender who can get into those 2 spots without having aerial. I think it's clear everybody would choose him. The second one.
Wait, I get my choice and then you get your second choice. You can't just get 2 off rip. We're going to alternate, all right? Let me get a center back in there too. I don't know if you're going to go this way, but someone who does have aerial, 98 overall. I've really enjoyed using Saliba. I think he's got a great build. Kind of a French version of Virgil and Van Dijk, in my opinion. I don't know if that's where you were going, but Saliba's coming off the board. Back to you.
I'm so happy you chose Saliba. I heard someone who's French with aerial. I thought, no, because my second center back is Konate. So I still got my choice. Saliba was my third choice though. And there's a good reason for that. Because pro vs pro games, a lot of corners are being scored. And when you have Konate in your squad, he is always at the front post. And if you don't play Konate, for example Saliba and Van Dijk will be there. So I think defensively, like as a player, Saliba is better. But it's just to do a little bit more against these corners that almost everybody and me play Konate. If that wasn't the case, Saliba would have been clear of Konate for me as well.
His physicality, he's got a certain just body type that kind of truck sticks people. To your point, I believe Saliba is a better individual defender. So maybe it depends what your team sort of looks like. And it does leave me with an odd fourth choice. But I am going to have a spend here because I'm going Brazilian. And we know how valuable Brazilians are in the attack. Well, I'm talking about Militao. And again, if you're looking for individualism, track back, speed of movement, he's got all of the above. And he comes with aerial, which I know is highly important to you. On the pro side, it's difficult it's almost a different game because at that level, everyone's looking for the knockdowns as a major tactic or corner kicks, scoring them and defending them. It's a little bit different than if you're going into regular weekend league play.
Yeah, definitely is. Militao has been an option for me as well. I played with him like 2 tournaments in a row. The card's insane, but the moment like Saliba and Konate went out, they have a bit of the height advantage on him. He went to the bench. But you could also use him as a right back, for example. He can play there at the start of the game as well. If I look, you have Saliba and Militao now. I have Konate and Van Dijk. It's like quite the same, I would say.
I'm not mad at our center backs. That's going to be very preference based. I think everyone would take Virgil in there. I think most people would want to have a Saliba, and then it comes down to, do you prefer the big body type of Konate, or would you prefer someone who's a little more agile feeling with a Militao? And that could just be how you defend. It could be a little bit of preference there. I'm just trying to put something into the comment section. Next up, let's go center mid. So we need 2 of these individuals. There are a lot of options, and as per usual, you get to begin.
I have 2 great center mids. I want to pick one, but if I have to look from my point of view, who would I put first in my team? It's going to be KDB. And that's because of the playstyles. He has the ping pass plus. He has the long ball plus. Those 2 are so important, especially in the competitive games. You need to have at least one player with long ball plus in your midfield. So for me, it's going to be the new 98 KDB.
I'm not saying you're wrong, but I just can't believe you didn't take the skipper. And out of, the disrespect that you just showed, I'm going to take the skipper. We're going to have Ruud Gullit. I don't necessarily think this is the year that he's most dominant. There's been other iterations where Ruud Gullit was so much better than every midfielder, and he has more competition, especially with the play styles and some of the passing. But I still am very terrified when I see Ruud Gullit in the midfield. The brand new one, you don't want to deal with that. The way that he gallops and the space that he takes up, the presence that he has, the long hair, it's just moving everywhere. You can't get by him. And he's able to move around players, take up space. It's just a problem. He's a problem individual. And if you've got him, I guarantee you're going to increase your results. Even if you don't get better at the game, if you have the likes of Ruud Gullit in your midfield, you have improved dramatically in terms of your team, defensively and offensively.
Yeah, you're right. He was next to KDB for me, so I have to get rid of him. He maybe is the best midfielder, but as I mentioned before, because of the playstyles, probably not the one I would pick first in my team. So why would I do that now? I just have to be realistic. I would pick KDB. Then next to KDB, I have an amazing card. It's going to be the first woman out here. Alexia Putellas, 99 overall. 99 shooting, 99 passing, ping pass, finesse as well. Every single long shot. You shoot with R1 and circle, green time, flies in with her. I think, yeah, she's just a must in every team.
Wow. I'm trying to figure out where we're going. You're kind of small in the midfield. Very offensive as well. This is an undersized midfield. I almost am kind of having an internal debate. Do I want to go for just straight gladiators? Because I could do that. I could stick Ruud and have Jude right next to him. And we got 2 big bodies just all over the place. They might not play the game of the passing, but the physicality, you're going to manhandle people in the middies. I think I would regret not having Jude Bellingham in this position. So I'm going to have a little more of a traditional midfield than what you've gone for. These guys are the bouncers of the midfield. We don't necessarily have all the intricacies. You don't have a maestro type, which is kind of where you've been building. I've always talked about it being and I just dropped my pen. You want a gladiator and a maestro as a way of balancing out your team a little bit. But we're just going 2 gladiators. I got Jude Bellingham next to Ruud Gullit. A lot of size. We're going to take a lot of space. We're going to disrupt things. And we're going to dictate the pace of the game.
Jude and Ruud versus Putellas and KDB. Complete opposite. Can't go wrong with both, I would say. Good playstyle, yeah. Crazy cards. Overall, crazy cards. All 4 of them, I have to say.
Super different procedure here. For the next segment, I've broken this up as having a left winger and a right winger. Is that how you did your notes? Because
I did. I'm gonna pick a Brazilian. Now it's still the question, which one is it gonna be?
I think I know where you're going. I'll write this down. Hold on. One moment, please. Refocus camera. Oh my God, that looks embarrassing. All right, go ahead.
The two options are obviously the Brazilian icon in Ronaldinho, and you also have Neymar. What makes the difference? For me, it is the 5-star weak foot of Neymar, so that's gonna be my pick for the left wing.
That's what I put on screen. That's where I thought you were gonna be heading. You know, technically you could have had Pateas here too. I mean, not anymore because you took her off the charts. I think I would prefer her in a center mid. This is a tricky one. I think if we're just going for wins, because it's gonna take someone that's a main striker off the table as well, I've got to get Mbappe. Mbappe's coming in, 98 overall, can play as a left wing, and also a striker, of course. But now you don't have that selection, and that man is dirty, disgusting filth that will make it into even the pro level teams on repeat.
Yep, I just hope you didn't pick him for left wing, but you did.
Yep, sorry, bro.
Good pick.
You took a gamble.
Good pick. Not his best, not his best position though. I would rather play him on the right or striker, but you just gotta have him in your team. So now he's at left wing. GG's.
If I didn't take him now, I might lose them later. That's the mindset here.
You
right
probably
wing.
would have. Right wing. For me, only one option right now.
Yep, I know where you're going.
Top tier. Like the rest is also very good, but Graham Hansen is like the best.
So broken. She's amazing.
I think she's just better than everyone else right now in that position. She also has 5-star, the finesse plus, tiki-taka whip pass. First touch, nothing comes close, I think.
Would you consider her the best winger, period?
I didn't juice her yet, but I think she has to because she has all the playstyles you need for a winger. Whip pass, finesse. Then she has the 5-star. I used her gold card for so long during the year, and she has something as well. She has like kind of the aura in game. Probably pure winger. Probably the best option you could get,
Yeah, I think she's actually the best winger in the game. And it's wild, but I think she's surpassed the likes of Neymar and Ronaldinho, even Mbappe, which is kind of a statement we would never have been able to foresee. You just never, I know women are brand new, but she's that good. Phenomenal. Absolute difference maker. You sent it back to me on the right wing side. I've got some things I can do here. I don't think Saka's going to get my choice. I don't think I'm going to have Cole Palmer, even though I like that option. You could go with the Jarzinhos of the world. So I think what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to take Kai Havertz, who can authentically play as a right wing, and gets me someone who can play out wide, someone who can play in a midfield role, someone who can be a floating attacker, even a fullback. I don't know if that's breaking some rules, but it's authentic to the position, and I'm taking what I feel is the best available in that position for me.
Interesting. He's good. He's definitely good. Although he doesn't come close to Hansen. I'm sorry, Mike, but he doesn't. He doesn't.
There's only one Hansen. What you want me to do? I got to deal with what I got here. I'm going for an overall package deal. We might have to move around formations in game. I don't know, but I got to go with what I got. And he doesn't take an icon spot off the table for me. That's another route I could go in that direction. If I lose another Brazilian, if I lose another icon,
that's true.
Maybe it affects where I want to do for the striker. So that's kind of how I got to think about this. There's strategy involved. I hope I have not repeated anything. Who are you going to lead off with? This is the big question here because that first choice, I mean, there's some serious...
I still have 2 icons left. I have to at least use one, which is going to be R9, of course.
Yep.
For me, the best player in the game, again, every single year. Now with his 98 cards, this has maybe been the best card he has ever had in ever.
Wow, that's a big statement. Yeah. That's a big statement.
This card is insane. And I think it's because of the playstyles, because previous years we didn't have them. Some cards are just really broken because of the playstyles. He has the finesse plus, which is so insane. Every single shot just flies in with this card and finesse.
Very interested in who's going to be next choice for you. I believe I have to take off the most disruptive player in the game, even with R9, and maybe because he's also more attainable in different versions of Haaland. But this year, cover star bonuses, the knockdown, we talk about aerial. Haaland created a new meta. At the end of the day, I remember at the competitive levels, Haaland was the difference maker. Once people figured out that you could kind of lob city and you could take advantage of all these knockdowns, it changed the way that you had to play the game, changed the way that you had to defend, changed the way that you approached offensive scenarios and crossing and how you targeted players. And I think Haaland has made that big a difference, and he has to be here whether you love it, you hate it. His big body, a lot of pace behind it, athletic. He's got to be my first selection. Very different player than R9. You can't take the same tactics between the two of them, but equally as effective in my humble opinion.
Yeah, for sure. Just completely different. But as you said, like maybe the biggest game-changing card there ever has been was his Team of the Year with Ariel. Since then, just the way of playing the game has changed so much.
I don't think there's ever been one player that has made a bigger difference in terms of meta shift.
No.
I don't know if you think about it. I don't think so though.
No, 100%.
I watched every pro player. Everybody changed the way that they played once they realized that this was a thing.
It's also a thing that if you played someone with Ariel, you gotta defend on it, and then other options open up. It just gives you so much variety. If you are not using it, you are already behind at the start of the game. So you need to have at least one player with Ariel Plus in your team. Makes my choice easier now because I don't have one yet. I have an icon left, I'm not gonna use. I have a Dutchman left, which I'm gonna use. The main man, Wout Weghorst. Obviously,
wow, let's go.
We are allowed to change positions in game. I will change Weghorst and Neymar. So up front, I would have R9 and Neymar and Weghorst at the left.
I like what you've built. I still have an icon spot. I think I've only taken Ruud Gullit as a review. And I have room for a Brazilian if I'd like. I'm going with the 99 overall Pele. I have rated this man in each iteration this year. I don't think he's under the radar, and you see him used in the pro scene, but maybe because he's been in so many installments over the years, maybe he doesn't have the same priority of pickup. Players want new introductions of icons or heroes, but Pele is still the real deal. I call him the truth.
Agreed. I think Pele and R9 together with like Gullit are the three icons. You can use them almost every year. Ronaldinho is always a question mark. Same goes for Zidane. But these three, you know, they will be good every single edition of the game. So always a safe choice. I think this recent card has 5-star as well. Playstyles are meh, I would say.
They're decent. They're decent. He's got Trivella, he's got technical, he's got power shot, he's got tiki taka. Some of those aren't the premium. I would prefer any other passing playstyle plus. I think you'd probably agree.
Tiki taka is alright, but there's basically no difference between white and gold. You would rather have ping pass on gold and tiki taka on white. That would have been amazing. But these cards have like 99 shooting, so every shot will still go in. They don't need the best playstyles because they are just so good already.
I also think Pele and R9, even Mbappe, they don't follow the rules of playstyles. Don't get me wrong. If they have them, amazing. But at least when I'm using these players, I just feel like they already have that aura. They have that extracurricular. They have that it factor, and it's not based around playstyles. But they were still at the highest level.
Yeah.
They were elite level players. So they just kind of fall or drum to their own path or their own beat. I don't remember the saying. It's something along those lines. But
unpopular opinion, do you think playstyles were in previous games as well?
Sort of.
The perfect example for me was CR7 always had Ariel, for sure. Maybe not Ariel Plus, but he had Ariel for sure. Definitely.
Before we get out of here, are there any players that maybe deserve a special shout out that we didn't use?
Ooh, I need to look. Ooh, I think Tony Kroos, the 97, which was an objective. A game changer as well in the pro scene because of the dead ball plus. So everybody knows how to take corners now because of him.
Maybe Messi coming in here in some space at a 99. We didn't use him. We didn't take him.
I don't really like Messi this year. I don't know. I think that he doesn't keep up with the pace of this game. Like his step overs are not that great, for example, and he can change things up though. But ooh, we missed someone as well.
Speaking of, I was gonna say Henry because he has that explosiveness. I don't know if he could have got into this draft, but I really like the Henry this year, especially the new version. I don't know that either of us would have taken him just based on it would have been an icon spend and a Brazilian, but that Rivaldo kind of came out of nowhere, and he's, in my opinion, top tier.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody requested it, but we'll take it.
No, I agree. 5-star, 5-star. And that's the thing that I think they did well this year, because normally these kind of icons, Dalglish, Stoichkov, Rivaldo, we could barely use them in any game, and this year they made them good as well, which I think is enjoyable.
No doubt, no doubt. That's where we leave off. You guys can let us know in the comments who you think did better here. I like our choices. We've got some good variety across the board. I'm glad that we added in a few different rules. If you don't follow Levy, I will link all of his channels down below, and we will be watching, and I'll be on site. You'll be competing in Saudi. As we're recording, you'll be traveling about a week and a half. Did I do that right?
That's true.
No, appreciate you guys. We'll have a lot more coming out ASAP.